Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am sitting in the car today and I have very minimal, little to no makeup. I just did some eyebrows and put on some lip balm to look a little presentable. So I want to do a story time. When I was in elementary school, okay, there was this guy that I liked, and of course we all kids. We in elementary school, we all have our crushes. Let me cue the intro before I get into it though. Once again, I don't know if I said this already, but I'm sorry if the lighting is off. I'm sitting in the car and the sunlight, as you can see, is kind of behind me. So sorry if I look, you know what I'm saying, or if the light, what is it called, saturation or whatever is going in and out. It's because the sunlight is behind me and not in front of me. But I just wanted to continue to do this video anyway. So, in elementary school, there was this kid that a lot of girls liked. You know, had to be that one boy. And he was mixed and he had hair. You know what I'm saying? He had a ponytail bowed down his back, mid back, I'll say. And like I said, every girl liked him, and of course, you know, I had my little crush, but I didn't say anything. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, I like you, you know, because I felt like I was an oddball. I got bullied, and you know, people would, I feel like, be my friend to bully me, or just be my friend to have something to talk about me. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? So, yeah. So, I never told him that I liked him. And I guess, and like I said, we never really talked. I don't know if we ever exchanged words like that, but I don't ever remember talking to this kid. But, of course, I liked him. And, of course, when he would walk by, I would look at him like, and, yeah, I would be like, why can't I look good enough? But if you do that to yourself, don't ever do that to yourself, because you are good enough. But like I said, I was in elementary school, okay? Keep that in mind. I'm in elementary school. So, every day at lunch, we had our classes, whatever class we was in, when we go to lunch, during that class, our class had assigned tables. So, I don't know, like if I'm in science class and I go to lunch during science class, my whole science class has to sit at one lunch table. That's how it was. So, the table I was assigned to, I don't remember the class I was in, of course, but the table I was assigned to was in the back of the cafeteria, alongside the wall where there were all the windows. And, you know, I didn't mind sitting there because I love sunlight. But anyways, yes. And the table that he sat at was right in front of mine. So, here's my table. Here's his table. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know how he would always, like, be at the table already with his food and stuff. But, so I would go through the line and get my food. And, of course, get my condiments, my napkins, fork, spoon, whatever. And of course, I'll be walking to my table to go sit down and go to eat that I'm assigned to for my class. So, every day, as I would walk to the table I was supposed to sit at, he would watch me. He would watch me walk all the way from the line, which would be like all the way back here, which is the front of the cafeteria. He would watch me walk all the way around all the tables. And then when I get walking past his table, it never failed. He always threw food at me. He always threw food at me. I can see him now throwing corn at me. I can see him ripping off pieces of his hot dog, throwing it at me. He always threw food at me. Every day. Every day. And I never did anything about it. I never told anybody, because when you get bullied, they always say tell an adult, tell your parents, tell the teacher. But at the end of the day, nothing changes. The principal does nothing. The teachers say something to the kid, but it only rile them up more, you know? So it's just like, I sat there and I took it, you know? Like, And I was thinking, like, we're in elementary school, I understand that, but I'm being way more mature than you are. You are sitting here throwing your food you're supposed to be eating at me, and I'm doing nothing but walking to my table. And I know if I look busted, y'all, it's just, I look rough right now. That's okay. Better days are coming. But not this one little curl though. So yeah, he will always throw food at me, and like I said, I sat there and I took it. I didn't tell no teacher. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell nobody. And then when he would throw the food at me, him and his guys, of course he had guy friends sitting right there next to him, all of them just start laughing at me. You know how humiliating it is to go through that every single day at lunch? And it's a bunch of guys. Well, it's one guy in particular, but his friends are just leading him on. And this, as a kid, you know, I'm talking about 3rd grade. Because I remember it just like it was yesterday. 3rd grade, people. 3rd grade. And so, yeah. And I remember one time he called me ugly. Now, I did like him. I don't ever remember telling him if I like him. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember. I could have. But I don't ever remember telling him that I liked him. But, yeah, he called me ugly. I believe one time he was like, I will never date you. Who would ever date somebody like you? You know, typical stuff. I was like, okay. I'm just a kid. Like, my glow up ain't even reached its peak yet. What are you talking about? So, yeah. So then, come up, you know, we had a field trip. I'm just fast forwarding. We had a field trip, and it was to a museum, like downtown. And so I was like, Mom, I want to go on this field trip. So for the field trip, she did my hair. I forgot. I don't have any pictures from it, so sorry I can't insert pictures to show you how I look, but I'm going to try and describe the best that I can. So she did my hair, and it was a really cute style. And I think she bought me a whole new outfit, or if I put something together out of the closet, but honey, you can tell me nothing. I am a fashionista. So I had on this shirt. It was a shirt, but it was long sleeve, and it was one of those shirts that had a hood attached to it, and it had like a, how do I explain this? Like a design in the back. It wasn't really a design, but it was more like, I can't explain it. But yeah, so I had my hair done. I had my outfit on, you know. That's all I did. You know, like elementary, I didn't wear all that makeup because I'm a kid, you know. That's a no-go, you know. My mom, I wasn't even allowed to wear makeup in middle school, but I did anyway. So, yeah, so I had my hair done, and I had my nice little outfit on. And so I walked into school that day, and I felt great because I knew that I looked good. I loved my hair, and I loved my outfit, like I said. So, you know, and I woke up, was like, okay, we're having a field trip today. My hair is done. I got my fit on. I'm about to have a good day. It's just the fact that we don't even, it's the fact that I would think about, like, we're not really going to be at school today because we're going to be on a field trip, which means I don't have to worry about this kid throwing food at me today. Because when we get back from that field trip, we're going to go to the cafeteria and we're going to get our lunch. Or even if you brought lunch, you could have brought your own lunch. And we're going to eat it in the classroom. And he wasn't in my class. So I knew that day that I did not have to worry about him throwing food at me. Yeah. So, fast forward, we get to the museum, you know. And the person that's touring the classes around, of course, we split into like 2 groups or something like that, all us kids and teachers. I think we split into 2 groups. And so he was in my group. And I was like, wow, really? And so yeah, he was in my group. I think his friends was in my group, I think. Yeah. And also some other girls that bullied me was in my group. And so basically for that field trip, I was by myself. You know, I had those okay people that didn't bully me, but at the end of the day, I was by myself. And thinking about it, it's just so, I was so lonely. And I hate being alone. I still feel that way to this day. But, yeah, so we get to this one part, I think about like pilgrims and Native Americans or something like that. And so the little tour guide man or whatever was like, just sit on the floor, just take a seat on the floor. And so we did that, and we all just sitting there on the floor, and he's talking to us and educating us through the history of the pilgrims and my voice cracked, sorry. The history of the pilgrims and all that stuff, and they had like the little teepee huts that we could like walk through because they were that big. It was so cool. But yeah, so he was teaching us about that. And so while he was talking to us and teaching us about that, this girl, I'm gonna call her No Hair because she really didn't have any, and she bullied me. So No Hair came up out of nowhere. Like, I'm just sitting down paying attention to the tour man teaching us about the history of the pilgrims. And this guy, and No Hair came up and was like, psst, psst, hey. And I'm just like, I don't have any friends. I know you're not talking to me, so I'm just keep paying attention. And then I heard again, psst. So I just looked like, I was like, what? Oh, what can I call him? I'm gonna call him Corn, because corn is mostly what he would throw at me every day. Like, anytime we had corn, it never failed. You know, he threw other food at me too, but I just remember it was mostly corn. So I'm gonna call him Corn. So she's like, psst, hey, Corn likes you. He said you look pretty today. And I just looked at her like, okay. And I turned it back around. And then I guess she walked back over there to him, and I guess she told him that I was like, that I said, okay, you know, like, what more you want me to say? And then she came back, psst, tapped me on my shoulder, and I was like, what? Oh, he wants to ask you out, but he's too shy to do it. So he asked me to ask you if you would be his girlfriend. Don't you know I sat there for a second? Remind you, we are in middle school. But don't you know that I sat there for a second? Like, dude, you can throw corn at me. You can laugh at me. You can humiliate me in front of the cafeteria, in front of your friends. But you can't come up and tell me I look nice today. You can't come up and ask me out yourself. So you can clown me, but you can't approach me. No, I ain't going out with you. Like, I said no. I really said no, and he got butthurt. And I thought about it, like, okay, so is that why you be throwing food at me? Is that why you be bullying me? You really think after you bully me, that's gonna... No. That's not how you do things. Like, I understand some people have their ways of, like, expressing themselves, but bullying a girl just because you like her is not a good way of expressing yourself. It's not a good way of expressing how you feel, and it's not finna work with me. It's like, if you like, I don't bite, just say that. You know, write a note or something if you feel like you're gonna throw up as you're talking to me, but you don't sit here and throw corn at me and throw other foods at me and humiliate me and bully me and talk about me and tell me I'm so ugly nobody would ever date me when the whole time you want to date me. So yeah, I said no, and ever since that day, I guess he got pressed. And if I'm not mistaken, after that day, the field trip day, after that day, he stopped throwing food at me. He stopped bullying me. And so 4th grade come, nothing. Sorry if you could hear all that. I think one of the neighbors are moving, so, you know, it's a little rowdy, a little noisy. But, yeah, 4th grade, nothing. Then we go to middle school. Of course, we all go to the same middle school. 5th grade, our very first class of the morning was right beside each other. So I had science and math, and it was like, this is my class right here, and he had this class right here. So literally right across from each other, like that. not every morning, but a lot of mornings, he would watch me walk in class. And he was standing outside of his class, and he would watch me walk in class, and I would just go and I would just sit down, and he would just stare at me. Like, sorry, man. Like, there's nothing I can do to help you. I can't help you. Like, it's just the bullying got the best of you, and it wasn't going for me, you know? Like, yeah. That's pretty much the end of this story time. It's like, if you like somebody, don't bully them. Work up the courage and talk to them. And like I said, I did like him. And like I said, it's elementary school, but it's the principle of it, which is why I wanted to share this story time. Don't bully nobody. Because I've been bullied, and it doesn't feel good, you know. And the fact that he sat there and bullied me every day, humiliated me in the cafeteria every day, threw food at me every day, throwing food at me and messing up my clothes, staining my clothes with food. Dude, then I'm walking around smelling like a piece of hot dog all day. Or some buttery corn all day. Like, no. That stuff was embarrassing, which is why I was like, no. And yeah, when I went from elementary to middle school, I had that little glow up. Because I was always myself, but I'm a unique person. And I dress up. You know, I've been dressing up since I was a kid. So that's why I get my fashion sense. I don't know. I'm just unique. My mom dresses great. Okay. I get it from her. But I got my own little spark to it, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the story time. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video. More videos coming soon, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.